Hello everyone and welcome to your Advective weather update for May 12th, 2023. No face cam today, that comes back tomorrow. Let's start with what's currently happening. A tornado watch has just been issued, including South Dakota, Nebraska, that includes Omaha and Lincoln, stretching into Iowa and stretching all the way into extreme northwestern Missouri there as well. We notice here as we head into the weather setup today that we have flooding risks stretching all the way from central Texas all the way up into the northern plains, and the same thing with the severe weather risks. We'll talk more about those soon. We also have severe weather and flooding risks tomorrow. The first one, the northern risk there being for places like Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois. The second one there, again, for Texas, Oklahoma for flooding, and southern Texas is going to be in a severe weather risk tomorrow as well. And then finally, as we head into Mother's Day, we do have a severe weather risk there in the central Ohio Valley, south central Texas, again, in a flash flooding risk. No critical fire weather conditions expected at this time over the next few days, so that's good news. Let's talk about the severe storms we're expecting. A level 3 out of 5 risk is in place for severe storms today from north central and eastern Nebraska all the way to extreme northwest Missouri. That also includes far western Iowa. Tomorrow we have a slight risk of severe storms in central Iowa, stretching all the way to northwestern Illinois, as well as a slight risk across parts of southern Texas. We also have a slight risk of severe weather on Sunday here, and that's going to be on Mother's Day for the central Ohio Valley region. And again, we will talk more about how that's looking soon. So let's jump right into it here with the official forecast today. Severe thunderstorms are already beginning to form in the northern risk region today. That's why we do have that tornado watch that's currently in place. The main threat of severe storms, though, will be from 3 p.m. to midnight. That's when the best conditions are really going to start kicking in today, with very large hail, damaging wind gusts, and a few tornadoes not just being possible, but I believe likely today, with relatively widespread severe storms, especially within that enhanced risk region on the northern side of things. In the southern risk region, storms will fire around 4 p.m. and rapidly become widespread in coverage, with scattered damaging winds and large hail being the primary threats. So there are going to be lots of thunderstorms stretching from around Oklahoma City all the way to the Texas-Mexico border. The good news is many of those storms won't be severe. It's going to be a more messy mode, but those storms that do become severe, again, those are going to pose a large hail and damaging wind threat. Let's talk about the official forecast now. Here's the hail threat today, and you can see there that enhanced risk in the red. That's with our enhanced risk region we were already talking about. This is a region where we're expecting numerous severe thunderstorms to produce large hail, and that hatched region there coinciding with the enhanced risk means that 2-inch in diameter or greater hail is possible. In the yellow there, that's our slight risk, level 2 out of 5. That's where we're expecting a possibility of a few severe storms containing large hail, and then our marginal risk there, level 1 out of 5, stretching all the way across well to the east of our slight and enhanced risks. Again, that's isolated severe storms being a possibility, not a huge deal there. Let's talk about the wind threat there. Level 2 out of 5 instead of 3 for the maximum risk, but it overspreads a much similar area with that marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, stretching a bit farther south there into Mississippi, including places like Tupelo and Jackson, or even stretching a bit into Alabama as well. So that's the wind threat. Those are the major changes from the hail to the wind threat, but again, level 2 scattered coverage, level 1 isolated coverage. When we talk about the tornado threat, we have a level 2 out of 5 risk there. That's in the brown. That includes places like Omaha, Nebraska. That does also include Kansas City. So that's something definitely to be of concern there for sure, as we are going to see a few tornadoes within that level 2 out of 5 risk region today. And then the level 1 out of 5 stretching through the Oklahoma City metro all the way near the Red River there, including or around Wichita Falls as well. So the tornado threat, non-zero today, definitely a few tornadoes expected, especially within the level 2, and in the level 1, very low risk of tornadoes, but it is a non-zero chance. Let's take a look at a weather model now. This shows you those storms that have already fired off today, becoming sort of a line with some more independent storms, especially on the southern side of things. That's going to be our tornado maker today. It's going to be those storms near that swirling low pressure system. Farther south, you can't see it very well there, but there will be numerous thunderstorms down there. It'll kind of become a messier blob of storms. Let's talk about tomorrow's forecast now. We have two distinct regions here for severe weather. The main threat in the northern region will be from 3 to 11 p.m. with damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes all being possible. Severe storms will already be ongoing in the southern risk in the morning here when the new forecast period begins at 7 a.m. and they'll be out of the risk area by around 4 p.m. But that'll be that line following from that mess today heading through southern Texas tomorrow. Damaging winds and large hail will be the primary threat with the storms in the south, and again, all hazards possible in the northern mode of things. Let's break down the northern mode a little bit. You'll notice there Des Moines just outside of that 5% corridor for tornado risk, that 5% corridor being our slight risk, level 2 out of 5, and our green corridor being the marginal risk, level 1 out of 5. So a few tornadoes are possible there within the slight risk there, and then the marginal risk, again, 1 or 2 tornadoes throughout the entirety of the region, very scattered, if not marginally scattered in coverage there in the level 1 out of 5, and again, a few tornadoes in the level 2. Wind threat, very similar, level 2 out of 5 there, just north of Des Moines. That stretches through much of Iowa, heading into northwestern Illinois. That does actually stretch a bit into north central Illinois as well, but that wind threat there coincident with the tornado threat, so scattered coverage of damaging winds there in the level 2, and marginal coverage of severe winds in the level 1 out of 5 isolated coverage there. The hail threat looks about the same as well, so again the level 2 out of 5 just north of Des Moines, stretching all the way from central Iowa into north central Illinois, and that is going to be for a possibility of large hail, so that's going to be scattered coverage and then isolated coverage there in the level 1 out of 5 in the brown. So again, things looking pretty similar across all hazards tomorrow when it does come to the severe weather risk, although I would lean a bit on the damaging wind threat in particular for tomorrow's severe weather risk. Let's take a look at a weather model for the severe weather risk in the northern mode. You'll notice here, this is as we head into the afternoon hours, not much happening just yet in terms of thunderstorms until we head towards around 2-3 p.m. And then those storms kind of converge into a bit of a line, a bit of an arcing segment with some more independent storms scattered within there, that bringing the possibility of that large hail and those tornadoes. Overnight, things do fizzle down a bit, but still there's going to be lots of rain occurring. Let's talk about the wind, hail, and tornado threats now for the southern mode of this risk tomorrow. This is going to be associated with a line of storms moving through Texas and some isolated storms in Oklahoma. So the wind outlook first, level 2 out of 5 there, including San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Victoria, just outside of Houston. That is going to be scattered coverage of damaging winds. Same thing with the hail, scattered coverage of large hail. The outlooks look exactly the same there, with the isolated coverage of damaging winds and large hail being just outside of that, stretching way north up into the Oklahoma City metro and the Tulsa metro as well. The tornado threat is a bit different, only a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 for tornadoes tomorrow. That includes the Oklahoma City metro on the northern end, and on the southern end we do have Corpus Christi, Brownsville, Laredo in the tornado risk. And this is maybe 1 or 2 tornadoes occurring within each of these risk regions in a worst case scenario. Realistically, we'll let you know if that changes with time. Let's take a look now at some weather models here. You can see there that swirling low pressure system there, and we see the line of storms moving off the coast of Texas there in the morning. That's going to be on the southern side of things before isolated storms and cells do move into the Oklahoma City metro as we head into the afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. Let's talk about now the day 3 risk. This is Mother's Day. There's a slight risk of severe storms, including Indianapolis, Indiana, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, places like that. This line of storms will move into the risk region from north to south, and it'll last from noon to midnight with damaging winds and large hail being the primary hazard. Let's break this down just a little bit more. Again, Indianapolis there on the slight risk, so Cincinnati, Louisville, Jackson, that's where scattered coverage of severe weather is a possibility, and again, damaging winds, large hail, the primary threats there. Places like Springfield, Illinois, Charleston, West Virginia, Nashville, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky, Knoxville, Tennessee, all within the marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 for severe thunderstorms. That's isolated coverage. This is not going to be a huge off-the-charts day or anything, but still make sure that you're accounting for thunderstorms in your Mother's Day plans if you're within any of these severe weather risks. Let's take a look at a weather model for that real quick. You'll just notice that line of storms moves throughout the day. Doesn't look overly potent on the simulated radar. I doubt it will in real life either, although it won't look exactly like the radar. You'll just, again, notice some storms firing throughout this region, but they're not looking particularly intense or particularly bad at this time. Damaging winds, large hail, though, of course, still a possibility. All right, let's now talk about the headline event, in my opinion, for this, and that's actually the flash flooding, because, we talk about the severe weather a lot, but Central Texas has been hammered quite a bit here, so I do think that flooding is actually the more pertinent threat for those, especially in South Central Texas, who are also getting severe weather. So there's a moderate risk of excessive rainfall for South Central Texas both today and tomorrow, with slight risks on the day 3 and day 4 outlooks. That's Mother's Day heading into Monday. So this is a serious flooding concern here in Central Texas as well. well. So make sure that you're looking at that rather closely and making sure you're staying tuned to weather alerts down there. Flood watch is already in place. Lots of rain is going to be falling. How much? Well, this is how much. The Weather Prediction Center showing 4.75 inches of rain there all the way down in south central Texas in some spots isolated, and that's on top of what's already fallen down there. That falls off rather quickly as you move to the north, but again, south central Texas, well over 2 inches of rain, over 4 inches of rain in scattered spots expected as we head through the next few days. Here's a visualization of the high-resolution rapid refresh model giving you some of those rain totals that we're expecting. So you'll notice here, this is where these storms blow up as we head into tonight, and those isolated regions, those pockets of well over 5 inches of rain, start to really come in. Heading into tomorrow, we see more of this, especially there near the Corpus Christi area, where we get well over 5, maybe even 6 inches of rain. So scattered to widespread coverage of rainfall that's particularly heavy is expected as we head through the next couple of days. Well, let's talk about now severe weather preparation. The big thing you can do here, if you haven't already, is go and watch our video on it. We talk about how to prepare for severe weather and non-severe hazards like lightning and flooding as well, so that way you know how to plan, prepare, and act for severe weather hazards. Link in the description. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. We do hope the video was useful. If you liked it, you can hit the like button down below. If you really liked it, you can hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more videos like this one. You can also join our Discord server to chat with myself and the rest of the community, and you can leave a comment if you have any feedback for us. Thank you so much for watching. We'll have a video at some point, likely tomorrow, on the risks for flooding and severe weather again in the U.S., and we'll definitely have a video on Cyclone Mocha in the Bay of Bengal later today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.